is Jonathan Bowman. I'm with Hometown Real Estate. I'm here to explain to you how my amazing marketing strategy can create buyers and sell your home quickly so that you can meet the goals that currently motivate you to sell your home. So let me tell you about myself. I'm a licensed real estate broker in the business since November of 2007. I have a 97.1% list to sell ratio. What that means is that almost every time I list a home, it sells. I have a 99.3% sales price to list price ratio. What that means is that my properties typically sell where I set the value, and in some cases I can create a buzz amongst buyers, causing the property to sell higher than my list price. Between Bank of America, Chase Bank, and private sellers, I've evaluated and or assisted in the sale of over 5,000 homes in the Chicagoland suburbs and all sides of Chicago. So, essentially, I'm an agent who sells almost every home that I list. I sell it at or above the value that I list it for, and I've evaluated and or sold thousands of homes over the last few years. Because I've done it so many times, it's caused me to become an expert as regards to the values in your marketplace. So at this point, you should already be asking yourself, is this the type of agent that I want working for me? Before you make the decision, let's stop talking about me. Let's discuss strategy, the strategy that I've used over the years and how I can use this strategy to successfully sell your home. So generally, there are 4 items that prevent a home from selling. First of all, setting the price instead of finding the value. Second off, availability of the property to the buyer. Third, too much of the seller in the home. And fourth, improper marketing. Our goal will be to search out any of these problems and remove them to increase the probability of a sale at or above market value. Let's discuss these in detail. So, considering first, improperly marketing the property. Photographs of the home need to be detailed. Having just one photo of the front will rarely be successful against your competition if they're taking beautiful, professional pictures. We also want to avoid taking pictures of areas of the home that are damaged. We only want to use the best photos. Also, placing a for sale sign on the property. If a buyer drives by your home and they see your for sale sign, they may want to view your property. If the for sale sign is hidden from view, individuals may not know that your home is for sale. Studies have shown that for sale signs do increase traffic for showings and home sales. I mean, consider this. Let's say someone goes and they're looking on the internet for a home, and that home happens to be down the street from your home. They overlooked you on the internet, or maybe you posted your home to the internet, or we put it on the MLS after the person did the search. Now they're out looking. They won't know your home is for sale when they're driving by it unless you have a for sale sign, and they'll stop by if your home's in the area and it's the type of home that they're looking for. This has happened several times where a home has been sold that way. The person wasn't looking for the house, but they came across it because that for sale sign was there. So giving your home maximum exposure is extremely important in the sale. Now, placing your home on the MLS and the multiple websites, as many as possible, is very important. Most, if not all, buyers are using an agent to find their home. Most of the time they are using an agent, or they're searching the internet on websites like Zillow.com or Redfin, but even then they still end up using an agent in the end. Your home needs to be in all of these places so that it does not get overlooked. Next, we have putting too much of the seller in the home. So every home is decorated to the seller's liking. Selling a home, though, requires that we make the home as appealing as possible to all prospective buyers. When they visit the home, they should be able to see themselves living in the home. They should not see you in the home when they look at it. So what's involved in removing the seller from the home? First of all, we need neutral paint colors. We need to remove personal items like pictures, posters. These are a key ingredient to allowing the buyer to visualize themselves. We'd also want to remove clutter or any personal items associated with your moving process. That's the last thing we want the seller doing, is telling the buyer, hey, please excuse the mess or anything of the sort. You want to make sure it's nice and neat, nice and warm, inviting, neutral colors. We want to take your personal preference out of the home, because your personal preference, odds are it's going to be different from the buyer's personal preference. And that's what we're trying to appeal to here in this particular case. Then, of course, you want to make the property available to the buyer. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was once in a jewelry store because I was considering upgrading my wife's wedding ring. There was no one else in the store, and the people who were there did not pay me any attention. As I was leaving, they asked me, hey, we were going to get to you in a moment. I told them never mind because they basically didn't pay me any attention at the beginning. They didn't provide me service. They didn't provide me availability. I left. I never returned there. I've since bought multiple pieces of jewelry from my wife from a different jeweler. And that business could have been the first jeweler's business if they made themselves available. Most buyers are not going to wait for you to make your home available if there are other homes in the area. Since this is a buyer's market, now it could even change to a seller's market at some point, and it may even be a seller's market at the time that you're listening to this video. But regardless of if it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, there's always going to be other sellers in the area. There's always going to be someone else selling their home other than you. So if you have your home listed, the buyers will go somewhere else if your home's not available. And when they are going somewhere else, they may buy the other home. And that's just the way it is. And there's a finite number of buyers. There's not an infinite number of buyers who are going to purchase your home. There's only so many people who can afford your home, and there's only so many people who will be interested in living where your home is located. So at the end of the day, you have to make it available to all of these individuals, or they're going to go somewhere else. There are sellers that want their agent there to present for every listing appointment. So let's say I'm your agent and you tell me, hey, Jonathan, every time someone comes to this house, I want you here. Now, I don't have a problem with doing that, but at the end of the day, that means that if I'm on the other side of the town and someone just happens to be in the area looking, well, I'm not going to be there to present it because I'm somewhere else at the time. So when that happens, you're losing availability. That's generally bad practice, and it typically results in the loss of multiple buyers, especially buyers who happen to be in the area and requested a last-minute showing. You really have to have a lockbox on the home. Make the home available as late as 7 p.m., 7 days a week, to ensure that the buyers with various work schedules will be able to see your home. You want to keep the home tidy at all times. Be prepared to show the home at a moment's notice. Now, I know you may think that this is inconvenient, but after I quickly procure a buyer for you and a closing check, you'll definitely see the value in making your home available. Now, if you have a tenant in the building and 24 to 48 hours is required, this should be reflected in a lower list price in order to provide buyers with an incentive to wait to see the home despite your competition providing them with more availability. Let me put that into terms for you. Let's say you have a really nice home. You have a tenant in there. The person has to wait 24 to 48 hours to see it. Let's say your home is listed for $100,000. You have a home down the street also listed for $100,000, similar in size, similar in setup. If they've got to wait 24 to 48 hours and the other home that also meets their needs for the same price is available right now, you're going to lose out on a lot of buyers that way. On the other hand, if your price is lower, well, guess what? They might go and look at the other house, but they're going to definitely wait the 24 to 48 hours to look at yours because there's an incentive there to look at it. You have to give the buyer an incentive to come to see your home. If you don't, you're going to throw buyers completely to the wind. And that's not good. So at this point, last but certainly not least, you have to set the value instead of the price. The price is how much you want for the home, and the value is how much you will actually receive. Many agents out there, many real estate agents, they're more concerned about getting the listing than actually performing a quality service to you, the seller, by selling the home. They get this sudden urge of excitement when a seller decides to sign the listing agreement with them and they say, yay, I got a listing. But at the end of the day, it means absolutely nothing unless the home actually sells. So you tell the agent, I will not settle for anything less than $400,000, even if your house is only worth $300,000. You have agents out there who will list your home and they'll tell you they can get that for you, knowing good and well that they can't, and they're setting you up for disappointment. I'm not going to do that. I'm absolutely not going to do that. And at no point will there be a situation where I'm listing your home at this exorbitant price and convincing you that I'm going to do it when I know that I can't, because of the fact it's just plain dishonest. it's not the way that you do business. You're already setting up your seller for failure. Let me ask you a question. If we could all go to the doctor and tell them what's wrong, prescribe our own medicine, do you think that the life expectancy of most Americans would drop dramatically? Well, absolutely. Doctors know how different drugs react with one another. They know about the side effects of these various drugs and what different things that you need to watch out for. They're professionals at what they do. Why should your real estate broker be any different? I've done this thousands of times. I set the goal to sell your home for as much as your market will allow me to sell it for. So I do my best to accommodate you as a seller. But the value of your home, the actual amount that it's worth, not the price, not the amount that you want, but the value, that's what I provide to you as regards to the property. It's 100% independent of anything else other than your local market. I'm going to be honest with you up front. And if you tell me, hey, John, you know what? I want this price, and the price that you're giving me is way out of bounds of what I can get for you, I'm going to shake your hand and part ways. I'm not going to try to convince you to do something that you don't want to do, because that's not what I'm about. And it really just sets a bad tone for the business relationship. The goal is for us to find the right fit. Now, if you're looking to sell your home, then you would have to sell it for the price that your home is actually worth. So the value of your home will be determined by the following steps. First thing we're going to do, we're going to review the condition of your home. Excellent, good, average, fair, or poor. We determine the gross living area of your home in square feet. We determine how many acres of land your home sits on. We find homes that are similar, that have recently sold nearby. We find homes that are currently for sale that are similar. And we're using the tax records for that gross living area and acres of land, because most of the time that's what the appraiser is using. Or if they're doing a broker price opinion, that's what they're using, and they're required to use that. So we want to use those same general things in order to determine the value. So your value is going to be determined by the actual sales, what has actually sold. This is the maximum amount that your property can sell for based on your market condition. Your price will then be set based on the active listings, and it is subject to the sales. Now, what that means is that your price must be competitive with any homes that are similar to your home and are priced less than the maximum value for your market. Now, if the homes in the last few months have sold for $100,000, for example, and now people are listing their homes for $150,000, we're still going to set your price in the $100,000 range. Why? Well, the people who have set their price $50,000 above the market are probably not going to receive a buyer. And even if they did, it would be very, very difficult for them to convince a bank to lend $50,000 more than what everyone else has been buying homes for in the past in the area. After all, if the buyer fails to pay the bank and the bank has to foreclose on that buyer, the bank wants to have a chance to get their money back when they sell the home. That's the whole idea of using homes that have actually sold in order to determine the value. So you typically will not receive maximum value if your competition is not priced at maximum value. So if there are 5 people looking for a home in your area, and the last few homes in the area sold for $150,000, but right now there are 10 homes in the area, similar condition to your home, that are for sale for $125,000. It would not be wise to price your home at $150,000 sale. Why? Well, what incentive would the buyer have to purchase your home for $25,000 more than the similar home down the street that's also for sale? We have to be competitive in order to make this sale. So what does this all mean? Well, basically, your home's only worth what sells around it. It's best if your price is competitive with other similar homes that are currently for sale nearby, assuming that they are not priced more or not priced higher than the current market value or what is sold. So if it's sold, that's how much it's worth. And then you look at what's for sale within those boundaries and make yourself competitive with what's for sale. It's really just that simple. At this point, we've discussed my credibility and the time-tested strategy that will give you a high probability of a sale at maximum value. Now, isn't that the type of real estate broker that you want working for you? An agent with credibility, an agent with over a decade of experience, with a tried and tested system designed to efficiently sell your home and get you top dollar for your property. An agent who's ready to go to work for you immediately. Now, at this point, I'm going to take a few moments to ask you some questions, see if your expectations for value and service are in line with selling your home. And if they are, we're going to list your home, and then I'm going to sell your home. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started and ask me any questions that you may have at this point.